Half the NASCAR garage wants to wreck him. The other half can't stop watching. And this Sunday at COTA, Carson Hocevar is about to show up to a track full of drivers who have very fresh, very painful reasons to settle a score, and he genuinely does not care. This is the story of NASCAR's most polarizing young talent, the chaos he left behind in Atlanta, and why this weekend at Circuit of the Americas could be the most dangerous race of his young career, and not just because of the track layout. Let's start with Atlanta, because what happened there on Sunday, February 22nd, is still the most talked about topic in the garage 3 days later. Carson Hocevar, driving the No. 77 Spire Motorsports Chevrolet, had already spun out Joey Logano in the closing stages of the Auto Trader 400 and sent Ryan Blaney into a difficult position earlier in the race, and then, on the first overtime restart, he looked at a gap between race leader Bubba Wallace and Christopher Bell at turn 1 and went for it. The gap was not there. Bell was sent hard into the outside wall. Hocevar kept going, eventually finishing fourth, his career-best Cup result, and when he climbed out of the car, he admitted he might owe a few apologies around the garage. That admission, coming immediately after a career-best finish, tells you everything about the chaos that surrounds. His explanation on SiriusXM NASCAR radio on Tuesday was, "Vintage Hocevar, no apology, no backing down, but at least a frank acknowledgement of reality. Obviously, that green-white checkered, when you have 2 Toyotas in front of you and 3 Chevys behind you, I'm going to be getting pushed very aggressively. I probably was thinking I could find the middle there. For how fast I got shot in there, it was open. I felt like it was open, but by the time I got there, it was already closed." He also addressed the bigger picture of his driving style with a bluntness that has become his trademark. "I think we all just race. I think everyone races me very aggressively at times, and I feel like I do the same. Obviously, I'm probably a little bit more on the take side, but I think Bowman Gray and Daytona and Atlanta, it was very calculated in what I wanted to do. And when it comes to the possibility of second-guessing himself mid-race, he was crystal clear. When you're making split-second decisions, you have to be committed one way or another. I feel like a lot of times when you're half-arsing it, that's when you tend to find yourself in trouble more times than not." He also said, with the kind of self-awareness that makes it impossible to fully dismiss him, "For the 1,000 moves it felt like we're doing non-stop, I'm bound to get a few wrong." The response from the veterans was swift, loud, and remarkably united. Denny Hamlin went straight to his Actions Detrimental podcast and made clear that what he saw in Atlanta was not just aggressive, it was misguided. "Those are not the moves that you have to make to win the race nowadays," Hamlin said firmly. "I think he's missing a little bit of the craftsmanship of winning these races beyond just having a fast car." He also delivered what might be the most cutting line of the entire post-race fallout. "It's tough to watch. The media loves it, by the way. Just ask them, they'll tell you. Oh, we love Hocevar. Well, no question you do, because he's giving you some content. He's certainly exciting to watch, if you're a race fan." And then he left a warning hanging in the air. "As a competitor, it's going to come back around." Kevin Harvick, watching from the commentary booth, was even more direct, offering a detailed take on what makes Hocevar so infuriating to race against. "I feel like Carson is going to take a run. He's going to plug a hole every chance that he gets. He's going to put you 3 wide, possibly 4 wide. If you open the middle up, he's going to take a chance, like he did with Christopher Bell, to fill that hole, especially when he's racing for a win. He's not going to worry about it when he gets out. I think that's the part where all the other drivers, it kind of pisses them off." And then Harvick went somewhere almost no analyst was willing to go. If you're a competitor and you're racing against him, what do you do to show him that you're not going to do that? "I think the way I would approach it is, I'd probably wreck him the first chance I got. I mean, if it was me, I would." Ryan Blaney, who has had his own run-ins with Hocevar dating back to last February's Atlanta race, when he confronted him on pit road and told him to calm down, only for the exact same thing to happen 12 months later, tried to be constructive. He told the Door Bumper Clear podcast, "With Carson, he's really talented. I think he's one of the best prospects, young drivers of the sport. But he made clear that talent alone isn't enough to build the alliances you need when it matters. The garage has a long memory, and Hocevar is filling it up fast. After the checkered flag at Atlanta, Ross Chastain, Blaney, and several other drivers walked over to find Hocevar in the infield. That kind of post-race gathering is never a social visit. And then came Dale Earnhardt Jr., and his verdict was the one that landed with the most weight, simply because of who he is. On his Dale Jr. Download podcast, Earnhardt was asked whether Hocevar would change. His answer was 3 words: "This cat's different." He then laid it all out. "No, it's going to take 2 or 3 times for some people to do this. This is who he is." I think he does understand right from wrong. I think he does know when he makes a mistake. We know that he has common sense. But I don't know that he's going to take a ton of advice from his competitors. He might take advice from somewhere else. Earnhardt then delivered his plainest warning yet. "I feel like eventually somebody will do something. I know that the driver that gets out of the car, they'll say, 'Oh, he's going to regret that one of these days.' Eventually, yes, eventually, enough's enough. Somebody will drop a hammer." And one of those drivers who heard it all and simply could not care less was the man himself. Hocevar, speaking on the Jeff Glock podcast, laughed the entire narrative off. "I'm not out there driving and going, you know, I want to sell some more t-shirts. The rest is noise. And I laugh at it sometimes. I just look at it and go, that's just entertainment." He added that he doesn't follow podcasts or post-race commentary, he just races as fast as he can. End of story. The comparison that keeps surfacing in this conversation is Ross Chastain, another Spire-connected driver who once terrorized the garage with the kind of fearless aggression that made him both loved and despised in equal measure. The Hail Melon at Martinsville, the constant dive bombs, the enemies he made, and then, eventually, the day Hendrick Motorsports made their feelings known and Chastain quietly dialed things back. The chaos cooled. The wins started coming. Earnhardt himself drew the comparison, but with one crucial distinction: he believes Hocevar is fundamentally different from Chastain in his wiring. Whether that means he goes further and burns bridges, Chastain never did, or whether it means he eventually finds a way to channel the aggression into something more controlled, nobody yet knows. What we do know is that Hocevar has just signed a contract extension with Spire Motorsports that he described in the most extraordinary terms imaginable. "I signed a very long-term paper at Spire. I am there for the next decade." I asked during the negotiations basically if it could just not even say a year. It would just be like, if I have a pulse, I'll race for Jeff Dickerson. That is a 2-3 year old locking himself in until his early 30s because he genuinely believes he and Spire can build something worth staying for. That kind of commitment is rare, and it silences the Hendrick Motorsports rumors that had been circulating for weeks. What do you think? Does Carson Hocevar finally put together a clean road course result at COTA and quiet the critics, or does the Atlanta fallout catch up with him on Sunday? Is his aggression a superpower that will eventually get him to victory lane, or a time bomb that is going to blow up his season? And should NASCAR step in, or is this just racing? Drop your predictions in the comments, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe for more NASCAR news. I'll catch you in the next one.